Swing it, boys, swing for the fence. Shove it, boys, make 'em miss. Some big league chew and a baseball souvenir. Come on, sing with me now. The Joe is home, sweet home. It's roll, tide, roll. The Joe is home, that's right. Home, sweet home. Hey, look, is that Roll Tide Willie over there? Blitz, Bama, Blitz.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the Weekly Joe podcast here from upstairs in my house in Mount Brook, Alabama. I'm Paul Graham. I'm your host tonight. We have Roger Myers coming to us from the Tuscaloosa office, Griff and Smith from the DFW, Greater Fort Worth area. For how long? You're moving, right? You're
no,
in Chicago later.
Couple months.
Couple months, okay.
As the group knows, it was a post Omaha move, but we'll talk about the likelihood of maybe that not happening. So
there you go. All right, here we go. And of course, Drew Champlin coming to us from right up the road, 15, 20 minutes from me, the regular panel. We'll get Megan back here in another week or so. She's off doing something very scholarly. As you know, she's the medical wing of our group, Dr. Megan Dennis, as we call her. But she'll be back at another time soon. Thanks to Peter Slide and Campland for our theme tonight and bringing us into you. This is season 3, episode 7, and we're going to talk Alabama baseball and recap a series we probably don't really want to recap, but we got to do it. And then we're going to start looking ahead to the SEC opener. It's always a great time. Opening weekend at the Joe. SEC home opener at the Joe. Oh, look, the Florida Gators are coming to town. What are they ranked? Top 10, 7, 5? I don't know. We're going to be somewhere in there, depending on where you look. But every week you might as well get ready because that's coming at you on this schedule, the way it is, life in the SEC. Tough weekend. All you can really say about it. You go to Kentucky. Never, Roger, you've been up there a few times now. I mean, it's over the years, and the new park, and it just feels like every time you go up there, it's cold, it's blustery. We never get them in the middle of May when it's 85, 90 degrees. The winds are weird. It's a different wind every day, and it's just a hard team to play. The style is just so difficult. Why? What is it about that place that we just go in and get swept every time?
I told Austin Cruciano, one of their assistant coaches, I said, this is the Tide's kryptonite. So
it's a hellscape.
We just cannot play here. It's all turf, the wind, the cold, what the game they play. I mean, we have proven we haven't been a good bunt fielding team. They bunt a lot.
No, they bunt a lot.
We started out the series like, they don't have any power. They only have 15 home runs, and they go and crush 6 home runs this weekend. Crush. There was wind Friday. The wind was straight out.
Whipping, yeah.
But they didn't hit anything cheap. I mean, they earned all 3 of those home runs on Friday night. It's just, and majority of our losses this year are on turf.
On turf, yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, definitely. Four in a row here this week.
Southern Miss, South Alabama, those 3. Where else? But anyway,
Houston one.
If we think back the last 2 or 3 years, maybe even further back, we have not played well No. On plastic grass, which doesn't belong in baseball.
Right. The Griff, the hit. I mean, we'll talk about it. Drew, I'll leave hitting to you. Defensively, what is going on with this team defensively? That we put up 5 errors over the weekend. Hell, you had 5 other night. It ended up being 5? It could have been 5. More. Honestly,
they could have called more. They gave us 5.
What do you think causes this? I mean, they're fielding ground balls every day. It's not like people could say, well, the coaches aren't coaching them. A 20-year-old guy who's been fielding ground balls for, however many years it's been now. It seems like something something happens overnight to make them not be able to field a ground ball. What do you attribute some of these defensive woes of this team to?
I think I'd like to think it's as easy as the plastic doesn't help playing on turf.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're gonna get weird bounces, but
Yeah, true bounce.
it's almost like they just have to get back to basics. I mean, a lot of I mean, I know when I saw the team here, LeBron had one that was kind of funky, and I know LeBron's had
Mm-hmm.
more than we would all like, but I feel like that they're sometimes you just have to settle down. I mean, the pitcher throws over and it goes high. That's certainly one thing.
Yeah, yeah,
But it just seems like they're trying to either do too much, and it's just you need to settle down. I mean, it just
yeah.
we got to be quick, but don't need to hurry. And I feel like all the ones that we throw away, or something happens, it's we're trying to move a little too fast. And
two pickoff throws to second base on Saturday end up in errors. Two different pitchers, and it's time. And to me, I think we get into this mode of they're making you play the game. They're doing what Nate Oates does to a slow down team, right? You want to try and run with us? Okay. You want to fire up a few 3-pointers and go up and down the court with us and the first 15 minutes of the first half? Well, what's going to happen to you, with 8 minutes left in the game when, we're on our, 80th possession and you're dragging your tongue, Drew, right? It feels like we get baited into some things. And mentally we don't have the stick to it to not get baited. But talk on that, and then just your assessment of hitting in general here with this crew.
I don't know how much time you have, but I think defensively we're playing a lot of guys in positions who have not they have not been playing those positions for the last year. So you think Osterhaus, he's had some mishaps in left field, and he was mostly an infielder. Holt, there's probably some balls you think he could play better. I think he kick saved the ball to first.
Yeah.
And I think has mostly been an outfield. I thought he was a center fielder.
Yeah, kind of half and half at South.
When we played them last year, he started this.
Half and half,
So you got guys like Luke Vaughn's never really played first before. He was been injured and was a catcher. And Torres, we thought was going to be a first baseman. I think he had a pretty costly error against South Alabama, but he's made some pretty good plays at third. I think it's just kind of, I think if you put LeBron anywhere in the field, he'd be pretty good. If you put him in center field and you put Bryce Fowler in right and then someone in left, man, how great is our defense?
That's a good outfield.
You got to find a shortstop. Maybe it's someone who hadn't played yet, but I think they're trying to find the right combination of guys.
Right.
The ones that are available.
Yeah, and then you kind of run into deals. Well, maybe that's not your best offensive line. Like last year, man, our outfield was great. Bonamolo especially, and then when you put Fowler in right, so we're missing that, and I think that may contribute to pitchers' ERAs going up because balls drop in that maybe Richard Bonamolo could have gotten, or like a Bryce Eblin will run and get. Purdy made a really nice play at first for that double play on Sunday. Of course, he also struck out twice. So just kind of those deals defensively, and then offensively. I don't know if you want me to. Boy, I don't know. It kind of seems like they're not very they're not aggressive. It seems like we take a lot of strikes and then we get to 2 strikes, and if we're not
take
striking
a lot of it seems like a lot of 0-1 fastballs.
If it's 0-1 or 1-1, they're throwing a fastball down the middle and we're not being aggressive. And then you're rolling over pitches on 1-2 if you're not striking out. So
and I don't think there's any adjustment on 2 strikes for anybody.
Right.
Bear in mind, I could not get up there and hit a 60 mile an hour fastball. So it's kind of weird to complain about guys not hitting 95. Players. So I need to throw that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the frustrating thing about the hitting is Kentucky always has solid pitching. I mean, once in a while they'll have a dude that, first rounder or whatnot. And probably not Kentucky's best pitching staff they've thrown at us over the years, or not as good as the one that got them to Omaha 2 years ago. I mean, they're not, they're not that far removed. So I guess what was frustrating about it is the starters were solid. I mean, pretty solid starts. They got, Jelkin, you hit him a little bit, struck out 5, walked 1. He got into 5 and a third innings. But when you got to their bullpen and that was your opportunity, you were already too far behind to do enough to catch up. And I was, I really felt like in some of those games, and it really felt like the first night is like, it just doesn't feel like we're into it. We're not gonna fight back on this. We did a little, and the games kind of started to get repetitive. One we got ahead obviously, and then blew it late. But I guess you see the fight in the team, but it's almost like it's too late, right? You can't,
especially Sunday.
8-4 in the ninth, and you get 3 runs, and you're getting back at them. But man, it's like, hey, where were we in the 5th through the 8th on Saturday when we're just putting up goose eggs, and then you just hit a lull with this team, and again that we batted. What did we bat over the weekend, Roger? Like two.
We were 225, 23 for 102, 225.
We didn't, that I recall, and I don't remember us, drawing up. We didn't like, in early
15 walks, 15 walks.
I mean, we kind of did it a little bit with smoke and mirrors in the preseason. Maybe gave a little bit of a false, what do we call a little false hope that maybe, hey, this might be a pretty good offensive team. You can piece runs together and manufacture it. Begin SEC play, there's roadblocks in front of you. You've got to hit up and down the order. You can't have the 2 guy in the order and the 6 guy in the order hitting well, and the rest of them in the tank. And then I don't know that's a hypothetical, but you got to have 4 or 5 guys hitting to be able to generate offense, and you can't rely on home runs. And we didn't hit a lot of them that weekend either, Roger.
No, we didn't. Let's see, Brian.
Johnny had 2.
Johnny had 2.
Yeah,
Johnny 2 for Johnny, and
1 for Braun.
And 1 for Braun, and I think that's
was that it on the weekend? I think it might have been.
And they hit 6.
Yeah. I think Brown hit 3 himself, didn't he?
I think 2. But yeah, and he had 0 coming into the game.
He didn't have a good. So I mean, it's not like you start looking up and down this order, and it's like, where are you gonna get power, right? Okay, you can get it out of your shortstop, but he ain't gonna see a lot of pitches that he can just tank. Right, if you're smart, why would you pitch to him like that? Okay, Brady's behind him, and Brady's off to a decent start, but why would you let him hit? Why would you let him beat you when all you got to do is get around him 3 or 4 times in the order, make him chase on a couple of them, and I mean maybe he gets a couple of singles on you. Yeah, he's going to steal second, steal third on you, but where are you going to get, Drew? What do you think? I mean, where are you going to get power in this lineup?
I think we have some powerful bats. They're not all playing. I know, like Eric Hines, we all want to see him more, and we saw him Tuesday, and he got on base 3 times. I'd kind of like to see them, maybe switch Lim and Neal, because Lim is a guy I think pitchers can be scared of because he's a big guy, and he crushed a couple balls. Neal is.
You mean move him in the order, like
move him up to third? Yeah. If we're going to keep doing this lefty righty every single game, which I kind of wish we'd change that up a little bit too, and just maybe stack hitters opposite of what they're pitching, because we do have depth. I'm pretty sure we do. Maybe we'll get some of that soon from guys injured, or maybe freshmen or redshirted guys. So yeah, I mean, I think Lim is a guy. We thought Purdy would be a little better than he has been, but still a young guy. Hines has hit a bomb. I'd like to see more of him. Just see what happens. So we're not going to hit the 100 home runs we thought we would, but I think we could still get a few guys in, maybe 10 or so. I don't know, but yeah, we need those guys who can hit a 3-run homer like Johnny did the other night.
Right. Roger, thoughts on that? I mean, if again, you kind of feel like, I mean, based on who we're playing right now, the guys that we're trotting out there, and it's the same, take the kind of the same 8 that have been out there, and maybe the 3 or 4 they're mixing in right now. I mean, where do you? I mean, is there a way to shake that up and make it compatible, or is that just not going to happen in this league, given what you're about to start facing? Arms.
You got Braun and Johnny and Torres is obviously capable of hitting. He's hit double digit home runs before. So if you're looking for power, so those guys, we thought Osterhausen still would provide some,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not really happening. Holt's not going to give you power. He's getting on
Mm-hmm.
base. Bryce is
Vaughn Sneaky can get
Vaughn, if
you.
he gets going, he hit
Yeah.
four kind of close together there, and
Mm-hmm.
not much sense. He has had a couple of doubles here recently, so maybe
Right.
he's
Mhm.
Bryce is going to give you line drives and walks, and
Mm-hmm.
not really going to hit the ball out of the park. So, I mean, that's what we were talking about last week. Kind of changing strategy and doing a lot more small ball. More bunting
Yeah.
and stealing bases. I don't know if I mean Brady's one of you probably your best hitter right now. I don't know about
Right.
butting him quite as much when
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like if Brian's on, he like you said earlier, he takes second and third for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
relatively easily. So unless Brady's squeezing him home, give him a shot at
Yeah.
give him a shot at a
Mm-hmm.
base hit or a home run.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
A lot of like situations with runners in scoring position, multiple guys in scoring position, bases loaded, and you need a gap or one out. You need something in a gap, but you get a strikeout at out two, and that just changes the complexion of the whole inning.
then
Griff,
you get your fly ball the next
and then you
batter
get the fly
if
ball.
if
Yeah,
you don't get
right,
your strikeout. But
right. Yeah, you're not getting the gapper, right, Griff? I
Oh,
mean,
I
it's
mean,
like
we
you're
talked.
just
I mean,
looking at.
that's to me, it comes back to, I don't know if it's a philosophy we've got at the plate, but you
Mm-hmm.
know, we're taking a lot of those pitches where it feels like we need to at least be trying to get a bat on it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we wait around, and then by the time that we need to make something happen then we get a pop up, we get we ground into a double play, and it's like we have to I'd like to see the team get just on the front foot. There's nothing to lose at
Yeah.
this point. I mean, we have
Mm-hmm.
to turn it around this
You got to
weekend. I
change it
mean,
somehow. Right.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And I think, continuing to sit on pitches or to wait for the right one, I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
not where we're at right now. And I'd love to
Right.
see, maybe some movement in the lineup, but to everyone else's point, I mean, I don't know how much that's going to make a difference. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we'd love to
Yeah.
have Fowler obviously, get some hits and get on base and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
try to take some pressure off Bronny to get the lineup going or Brady. But I mean, we need to definitely see some action because it's,
Yeah.
like you said, it either comes in bunches or we turn it on too late. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that's what Rob had been preaching the past couple of years is, play all 9 innings. We can't just show up
Yeah.
for one
Yeah.
inning. I don't know if that's, who knows? I mean, I'm not saying that they're not listening, but it's like there's something that's got to definitely
It's
change.
just not clicking. Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna run out of time. So
No doubt. We when you look back over the weekend, I mean, they do kind of out of the blue on Saturday. You insert Will Platner in the lineup. Will been what 1 for 16, 1 for 17, or something for the start of the season. Mired in a pretty bad slump and gave you a little spark. Goes 1 for 3 on Sunday. I think it was
two for four on Saturday.
2 for 4. Yeah, 2 for 4 on Saturday. So he gives you a little sparks. I mean, you've got guys capable. It's just if it takes a 1 for 17 and a few days on the bench to come back.
Or a few weeks on the bench.
Or 3 weeks. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
he was hitting 059 going in.
Yeah, so I mean,
he ended up
one.
3 for 7, 2 doubles.
Yeah, not a bad weekend. Yeah,
Two
not a bad
RBI. He
weekend.
had a RBI on a hit by pitch, and
Then he
got
didn't.
on.
Then he
got
didn't
on
play
the
on
wall.
Tuesday.
And then to play Tuesday. Yeah, exactly. So from a hitting side, I mean, do you think? All right, here's the scenario. You're 0-3 in the conference, right? I mean, that weekend happened. It is what it is. You always say going into the season, just don't get swept. Everybody says don't get swept. A bunch of teams got swept this weekend. South Carolina, who's bad. Missouri, who's bad. All right, and we did. We didn't expect to be bad. So you've had your sweep. Now you got to avoid getting another sweep at some point. That was not the series. If you were going to go down the list and say, all right, 2 out of 3 here, 1 out of 3 here, that was not the one you were going to pick for a sweep. I don't think.
No.
Scenario this weekend. Okay, Florida comes to town. Good hitting team. You're going to see Friday, Saturday, maybe 2 of the better arms in the conference. Definitely Friday. Maybe the best arm in the conference Friday. If you get shut down cold again this weekend, and we weren't cold. We put up a little bit of a fight last weekend, but if it happens, you come out of this weekend 0-6, God forbid, or 1-5. Man, you got a big hole to dig out of, and you got Auburn coming to town, who's probably going to be number
3
one
or
or
4.
two in the country after they beat Texas 2 out of 3 this weekend, if that happens. Drew, do you start thinking wholesale at that point? I mean, is it kind of, hey man, some of the guys that came in and that you expect a little more out of, it's maybe get on the shelf, you start building. I mean, you don't want to throw in the towel 6 games into a 30-game season, right?
Mhm.
But does it change your mindset, you think?
It's a good question. What I would have added to the hitting conversation
Mhm.
earlier is it's frustrating we don't seem to have a lot of hard contact.
Yeah.
I'd love to see some stats or analytics on
Mhm.
average exit velos. So yeah, we're not getting that. So maybe it's going to be something because it's going to be tough this weekend. I think Florida goes 3 righty. I know they go righty righty.
Mhm.
3 righties. Yes.
3
Okay.
righties, yeah. Hmm.
So, and we got plenty of lefties. So I
Uh-huh.
kind of like, when we start a lot of these lefties, I can't see them changing. And Rob is very much going to roll with his guys. And so
Yeah.
I'd be really
Mhm.
shocked if something new happened this weekend. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, if they start just magically picking it up and all this and that, you kind of do what you do. But if it's, you want to see us, if we can get a couple of wins, make them kind of be
Mhm.
demonstrative wins, so that we got confidence going in.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we're 0-5 or 0-6 or 1-5, man. That's a tough call. You'd like to see Auburn brings a couple lefties, and you want to see Eric Hines
Yeah.
and some righties getting action there. So I don't know. I guess it really depends on if we are one
Yeah.
and five and 0-6. How
Yeah.
do those games look?
Uh,
So then go from there.
right. And by the way, I picked us to win the series this weekend. I did pick us to sweep, so obviously, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. So
Mhm.
I picked us to win. It's
Me
here we
too.
go. But again, we've seen it, Roger. There's been some resilience in the Rob Vaughn era with
Yes.
these clubs. These again, I go back to 2024, and we'll talk a little bit. We'll compare teams later, but you remember that year. Arkansas comes to town, I think #1 in the country, and you take 2 out of 3 from them after you've been swept at Kentucky, after you've been swept at Georgia. That was the year we had the flu bug and still salvaged that Sunday game behind Hess. We
Yeah.
salvaged that Auburn game, the last game of the year that probably got us in a regional that we wouldn't have gotten into if we had not won that game. And
And
so,
they sure tried to keep us from playing it too.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
right.
We sat there in the rain for a long
Yeah,
time.
but
Mhm.
it's you've seen some resilience from these teams. So again, we're going to we get swept. We're going to be critical. Obviously, fans are going to be critical. They'll be overly critical, and Rob even touched on that in his post game. Maybe he's talking about maybe talking about everybody, but I mean everybody's going to be. That's just natural. But I mean, you get out there this weekend and find a way, and you pick 2 out of 3. This team or this program under this coaching staff has shown that they can have bounce backs
That,
against teams you maybe don't expect to bounce back against.
right. Like, well, that goes back to 2023, but coming
Mhm.
back and bouncing back and beating Vanderbilt, right?
Yeah,
First time after the scandal, and then
yeah, yeah.
uh, you know,
Just 2
and
out of 3. Mhm.
I don't guess there's, I mean, really anybody that's playing that was on that team, but
No,
um,
no.
Hagen Banks,
Banks was, yeah, I think
um,
surely, yeah.
yeah, he's been here half a decade, so no, it was.
Mhm.
But like you said, beating Arkansas 2 out of 3, and then
Mhm.
beating Tennessee.
Yeah, with a freshman going on Sunday that year, Zane Adams, the freshman on Sunday.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And that was
Mhm.
in LSU. Didn't we
Yeah.
beat them 2 out of 3? Didn't when the catcher
Mhm.
threw the ball away on
Yeah.
Hamilton trying to
Uh-huh.
get down to first base. So
Yeah.
they show some resilience. Hopefully these guys are
Mhm.
listening, and they're not
Mhm.
discouraged, and stay confident. And
We almost need to have a couple juice guys like Riley Quick in the dugout. I mean, just somebody
Uh-huh.
always at the top
Mhm.
step trying to get some mojo when they're coming off the field. I mean, it doesn't have to be a 1, 2, 3 inning, but we just
Mhm.
gotta have a little mojo. I mean, watching, it's like, I mean, I'm not there for all these games, but I definitely get the sense that sometimes it's like they just let one error compound and the whole team just kind of
Mhm.
gets in a weird funk, and I'm like, it's just shake it off and keep playing. Like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
surprisingly, at South, I noticed this. It was maybe rubbing off of the shenanigans that Kentucky does in their dugout. But
Uh-huh.
our guys, particularly all the freshmen, but there were some other guys mixed in there too. They were doing all that
A lot of
chanting
juice.
and singing
Yeah.
and all this weird
Oh
this
boy.
and this and
Drew
I
loves
just
that stuff.
Are we
oh
turning into a
yeah.
softball team? I
Well,
mean,
that's well, I was yelling at Kentucky up there. It's like
yeah.
this isn't softball. Quit. I mean, they have all this choreographed stuff over there
Yeah.
Yeah.
at up there at Kentucky, and I mean, heck, they went to the World Series 2 years ago, and they're winning. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something you normally see with Alabama, but
Right.
they had our guys, because I was right behind them. They were doing all this stuff, particularly early when somehow or another we had a lead when they left the bases loaded like 4 straight innings. Somehow we kept getting out of those innings. When we had the 3-0 lead, but
Yeah.
that was the most engaged I've seen our dugout.
Mhm.
And Rob said after the game, he said, "I liked our approach. I didn't like our execution. I like the attitude
exactly.
and the approach
Uh,
of coming into the game, but the
mhm.
execution was lacking."
It was rough.
So,
The Griff, I don't know, you may have said, I watched it. Roger, you were there. Obviously, cold night in Mobile. Unusually cold.
brutally cold.
Yeah, brutally cold. I don't know if we've had a worse defensive game under the staff. I can't remember a worse defensive game going back in a long time. 5 errors. I mean, but
Since 2017 under Goff, the
17.
last game.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, that's a bad omen. But midweek, you just got back off a rough weekend in Kentucky. You got to go. That's a haul down to Mobile from Tuscaloosa after all that is 3.5, 4 hour drive, whatever it is. Did you expect a little more on Tuesday, or was that almost predestined, you think?
I think it was kind of like going to tell you something. I thought, and then Rob said he liked the attitude and the way they came out. It's just they didn't play well,
No.
at all. But we came out getting runners on base and just not getting a
Couldn't
big
move
hit
them.
again.
Just
Couldn't
couldn't
get
move
them
them.
in. So I mean, I don't think they quit. I think they just played.
They just
crap.
kind of flamed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like Griff that we were putting guys on base, not getting, and then at some point we just kind of, the offense just kind of tailed off. So been a lot of games over the years. I can watch whether it's this staff or staff before, and y'all heard me say it sitting there in the stands. I was like, I don't know if we're going to win this game with 3 runs, if we can, but we're about to find out.
Yeah.
Because, just feel like the offense has run out of gas. They kept getting guys on base. South Alabama. They were loading the bases up. We were just finding a Houdini way out of it. Eventually, the dam was going to break. Right.
That was my exact thought. I told Dwayne Ryan was sitting next to me. I said, we're living so dangerously. There's no way we're going to fall off this cliff eventually. I mean, there's just, you can't strand the bases loaded every
just
inning.
Constantly. Yeah.
That's
I mean, they left 17 on base.
17 on base. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen another team leave that many on us. I mean, I've seen us doing a midweek.
Yeah.
Griff, your thoughts on that game Tuesday? I mean, just kind of.
It felt like, we set ourselves up. We get a run in the third, and I'm like, okay, we can just let's keep it rolling, and then, we shoot ourselves in the foot. Feels like the inning's over. Right as it got started, and like you said, we hit terrible dry spell, and then okay, we finally got a little something going later in the game, and feels like we can get it going again, and then it's a double play, and sure, Bryce comes home on the wild pitch, and then it's Torres grounds out, and I'm like,
right,
just.
That inning, the 7th, Bryce and Brian lead off with hits, and then 3-0 pitch, Brady takes a ball up here.
Yeah.
And he jumps back and he calls it strike one.
He calls strike, yeah.
And then the next, so we're looking at bases loaded, no outs.
Mm-hmm.
And even at that, if Torres does the same thing, hits that ground ball, well, I don't get bases loaded because Bryce did come home on the, but we got 2 on and no out.
Right.
Because Bryce had scored on the wild pitch or whenever that happened. But just zapped all the momentum right there. And then we had the rest of the game in the last 2 innings, we struck out 5 times, had one single and one walk.
I was gonna say, yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like Roger. I mean, Drew, you spoke to the you kind of spoke to the soft contact. Um, man, that last 2 innings, we get the side struck out. We get another couple of Ks the last inning. Osterhaus hits a ball barely over the pitcher's head. It goes 75 feet for an infield single, and we hit a weak ground out to first. I think the end of the game. I mean, 2 balls contact in the last 2 innings when you're down. After you've come down and you're about to face your 4th loss in a row. I mean, was that kind of a microcosm of the last week or so, that last couple of innings?
Yeah, I saw. There's a few questions I have. I know I think it was the last inning. Bryce had it 3-0, took a high ball, should have been ball 4,
Yeah.
and the announcers thought he had been ejected from the game. I guess he got a warning. Roger, do you remember that?
He called timeout.
He called timeout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. So that's
or Rob called time, or they. I think Rob saw that something might, that
he was
upset.
That should have been ball 4. So the guy behind the plate, had a big strike zone for us when we were at bat. But yeah, and that leads to frustration. I get that. It was kind of just one of those games where you thought from the get go we should have really had 6 or 7 runs. I know they left a lot on base. But I don't know why I just didn't feel threatened by their offense until that 7th inning when we started making errors.
I did not either. And
it just the 2 errors, and then and I think what I wonder about the scheduling part is, did we schedule this midweek before the SEC schedule was announced?
That needs to be answered because the same thing, with when we were going to Texas, go to Southern Miss and then come back and then go.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, in my opinion, we don't need to be playing this many midweek road games, particularly long ones like this. I mean, I know they're young and healthy and in good shape, and it's still all that travel zaps you. I know I'm worn out from all the damn driving I've been doing. So, and I'm in relatively good shape. So
right.
So it's just, it's just draining. I mean, poor Jimbo falls asleep, at all these road games in his seat. So he says he kind of feels like that sometimes driving, so he'll just pull off the road and take him out.
Jimbo needs to be riding with you then.
No, I think he lives closer to you, so you need.
That's right.
He lives closer to Paul.
That's right. Yeah, just I guess now we always have kind of view midweek games a little differently. I mean, they're for developing your guy. I mean, you look around the conference that night, like 5 SEC teams lost midweek games that night. Not excusing losing midweek games, but it seems like a lot more teams are kind of taking the approach of, I'm going to get my RPI bump on the weekend and whatnot. We took a different approach last year. We had a different mindset, and I think it helped because it carried over into the weekend.
Right. I think I kind of like that mindset, truthfully. I like winning all those games. I mean, and guys saying it's true. It's, hey, this is when you throw your freshmen. This is when you
exactly get them at bats.
I mean,
keep them engaged. Yeah.
We're throwing graduate student. On Tuesday, because we need to win them. Maybe Bobby needs to go deeper. Of course, he worked around a lot of trouble. He left 5 guys on in 2 innings, but he kept them off the board. Smyers looked really good.
Yeah,
took him out, put him out there for that 3rd inning, and walked those first 2 guys, and that kind of got it going for them. But like Drew said, their offense didn't. I thought it 3-1. I felt pretty good.
Felt pretty good, yeah.
Other than thinking, all right, who is our closer?
Who's closer? Yeah, the same thing we talk about every week. Yeah, right. Who's going to close this game? Yeah. Pacey got another appearance. I mean, I think it's 4 times we've used him, which we didn't for earlier on. But probably the first night that you really, you walked the guy and gave a couple of hits. But I mean, again, you're pitching in a different environment and you're just getting more innings under your belt.
Pitching
Ashton
on full
kind of had a rough night.
No dirt, no grass on the mound. I mean, it's
No,
everything. It's fully
it's all
carpet.
turf. Yeah, full
I
turf.
mean, that's
Yeah.
got to be different for a pitcher.
Yeah. Ashton kind of had a rough night. I mean, everybody that came in gave a bit. Mitchell had a good, fairly clean in, but he walked a guy. I mean, they were getting guys on base all night. I guess Griff, from your standpoint, do you kind of feel like maybe the team's losing a little bit of the edge by the way we're playing these, we're coming off these midweek performances like this after a weekend. Normally that was a night to get well and you didn't. And now you got to go into the weekend again. It's like, it's a,
Yeah, I think they compound onto each other. If we play well on the weekends, obviously I'm like I want to win all these games, but if something happens in the midweek, then so be it. And I mean the plus of being on the other side of this is that when you're winning well and your Texas losing to Texas State this week. I mean, there was an article in the paper that that loss really doesn't matter because
it doesn't matter to them. No,
because you turn around, you got another huge series this weekend at Auburn. You got a chance for those guys to make another statement. When it feels like we're already behind the eight ball, it's like all of these games definitely matter because I feel like if we don't find a way to get the offense rolling in the midweek game, then that puts even more pressure just to figure it out on the weekend when you're dealing with three more aces as every team already has. So it's like it just compounds it by a lot. So it's tough.
Wow. Drew, here's one for you. All right, you're my hitting guy. I'm going to you for hitting again tonight because this is more about we haven't talked a whole lot about pitching until. Have we made the staff? I mean, just flat out ask this: has the staff made a mistake this year? In we talk about how these new guys we got these new young guns, and they look different. They're game ready. And we hadn't gotten a lot of those guys reps in those types of games early on. Maybe the leash was a little too long on some of the guys that just, it didn't merit it, but they had 400 or 500 college bats already. Are we too deep into the season now where it's hard to develop guys? Cause, I'm going to put you in the lineup Friday, but by the way, Liam Peterson's on the mound. Good luck with that. When we could have gotten you a couple of bats in the Sanford game or the, Alabama State game or the North Florida series. Have we made a mistake in that regard? And is it maybe a little late to pivot?
Probably. The way that Coach Vaughn was talking about the freshman class, you really would, with those three, especially Washington State and Rhode Island, I feel like we should have really not given everybody in the lineup 3 starts. You start LeBron and Torres and probably 1 or 2 other guys, but that's when you might mix and match in right field, second base. They did get Purdy in at first base and they mixed and matched the catchers. Left field mixed, throw someone else in there that weekend. I think we could have done a better job of that. Because you think about it, like last year, John Young, when he was coming in, he wasn't getting these midweek starts. They were throwing him in on Saturday against LSU, Saturday against Mississippi State.
Mississippi State,
yeah. So he wasn't getting those at bats against. He did play a few innings against Troy late in the year. Got a hit or 2 in that game. So that was one of those that, you kind of. I know you got to get these guys in the groove, but if you're playing 4 games like in a week, why not? Or a doubleheader, why not mix and match that second game of a doubleheader and just figure it out? If you're losing, then you're losing. But I think I'm a little frustrated with that we can't just go throw Eric Hines in there on Friday night against Liam Peterson because exactly. He hasn't played that much before. But I kind of feel like we're just going to see the same lineup that we've been mostly seeing Friday and Saturday.
Well, we did have started with some changes on Tuesday night. Didn't stick with them throughout the game, but
you could kind of tell they were like itching to put the regulars back in. And Steele is a guy who he's had some hard luck. He's had some hard outs. He has struck out a lot. He's got a tremendous arm. He's a guy you at the very least want in like in the last couple innings for
defensive
defense.
substitution.
And then, get him. But it's okay to put someone else in right field every now and then. It doesn't have to be Brandon Holt, who's a second baseman, or maybe he played outfield last year. But I would have maybe Evan Taylor plays there, or Kroberger, and then when these guys get in, don't just
Gerardo, yeah.
run them. Yeah,
Yeah.
some of these guys have played 2 at bats. They've burned their red shirts. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
why are we just going to not play them? That happened
Mhm.
last year when some guys who left, like Griggs and
Right.
Duff, and so I think that's kind of a challenge.
Andre.
Yeah.
Andre, yeah, Bedunia. So we're
So
we talk about the weekend, and we keep mentioning Liam Peterson. Obviously, most people who listen to this podcast or watch us know a little bit about baseball, right? Liam Peterson, maybe, I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen every pitcher in the league, but probably consensus top 5 starter in the league, and he may not be number 5, 4, 3, or 2. A 2.84 ERA. He's started up 5 games already, thrown 25 innings, 44 strikeouts to 14 walks. I mean, power pitcher. So you're going to see him Friday night. I think you see Aiden King on Saturday.
That's what they said. They
Is what
announced.
they listed out. Who struck out 26, walked 3. I think he's thrown a fewer innings, but a couple fewer innings. Interestingly enough, the guy's given up 8 runs, none of them earned. So I mean, they obviously got some defensive issues behind him, maybe too. I can't remember. Remind me who's starting the Saturday game.
I got it right here.
Aiden's going Saturday, and Cooper Walls is going Sunday.
Cooper Walls going Sunday. Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, Cooper. Yeah, he's not off to as good a start. 16 walks, 16 Ks, 4 strikeouts. He's thrown 18 innings at 4.91 ERA. But again, this is a good staff and going to have good guys behind them. A little bit of a enigma of the team, maybe. Beats the living hell out of Miami down at Miami, if I remember right. They go down to Miami. I think they swept them. And then they come back the next weekend and damn near get swept by High Point, who's clearly a basketball school based on today, right? They get really are down to the last inning, and High Point blows a, I think, that 4 or 5 run lead in that game. So Florida can be got. Maybe there's a little bit to that, but it's kind of hard to get their starting pitching, right, Roger?
Yes, I was just looking at their numbers there. The walks that we kept collecting all preseason are definitely dwindling with these.
Yeah, exactly.
This SEC arms. They got 110 walks, 158 strikeouts.
Yeah.
So and only giving up 6 home runs.
Yeah.
And so they get you pretty good. They always, they're just always going to have such a talented team. I mean, it's not an easy task.
Yeah, still some names out there you already know. Brendan Lawson, Blake Sear, still there, going over down the line. Kyle Jones, Carson Bowen, Cash Strayer, kind of good. That's a great name. That's a travel ball kid name right there. Cash Strayer. Yeah, I like that. Cade Curlin. I can't believe Cade Curlin isn't like my age now. It seems like he's been there all those years. Landon Stripling.
I wonder if he's hurt, Curlin, because he's not played.
May be. Yeah,
he's only played 9 games.
9 games. Yeah,
he came in there. He came a year early too. He came as a high school senior.
Yeah. Maybe a little feast or famine with his team. Kind of looks like our numbers. Brendan Lawson has 10 home runs of the 30 on the team. Kind of like we got one guy who's who's stacked up, 9 of our 30. So, maybe not the kind of power team you've had before. You had Colby Shelton down there that didn't never hit as many home runs as he did his freshman year with us.
Caglione.
Yeah. I mean, solid. Italy, Italian superstar Jack Cagliano from the Classic, but overall, really good hitting team. They're hitting 297 overall. I don't know what we're hitting overall. We're 266, I guess, and the schedules obviously speak to that somewhat. They swept South Carolina, but had a couple of tight games over the weekend. Drew did some couple pretty tight games with South Carolina over the weekend that they
South Carolina is probably the worst team in the league by far.
Right.
And they didn't really dominant. I guess they really didn't dominate them.
Like 1 to
Florida,
nothing. They had one
Yep.
to
yeah,
nothing, like 10
One
innings.
nothing.
yeah.
Yep.
So Florida's the kind of team that you can get if you can keep them in the yard, I think.
Right.
I even saw a quote from Casey Dunn. They played Florida and then Cincinnati, UAB. UAB won
Yeah.
that Friday night game.
Mhm.
Um, and he said that Cincinnati would have been it was going to be a little bit more of a challenge because they'll run the bases and do a lot of stuff like
Mhm.
Kentucky does. Where Florida, they're just kind of a bunch of professionals just going to go take their professional at bat. So you're not going to
Right.
see a lot of like bunts from them. They're not going to play you like Kentucky does.
Small
You
type. Yeah.
you just got to
Yeah.
keep it down and keep it in the yard and make the plays when they're hit to
Mhm.
you. So easier said than done. Because they have big monsters every year.
Yeah.
But we really should have won that series last year. So
Uh-huh.
I did pick us to lose the series on our weekly Joe picks, but I think I could see us getting one. I
Mhm.
didn't pick us to get swept, and there's a path for two. We just got to pick it up. So
Uh-huh.
that's kind of my thoughts on the series.
Yeah. So they go 1-0. They win 1-0. They win 3-0. Then they have a 10-run game on
Mm.
Sunday with Carolina last weekend. Peterson last Friday night goes six innings, walks two, strikes out 10, gives up one hit. So I mean, he was hardly touchable over that period. I mean, and again, South Carolina is not a good hitting or any team, frankly. Fortunately, they're on our schedule later in the year. But but again, a couple of competitive games with them that they just the offense took a minute to get going, like ours is seemingly done as well, right, Griff?
Yeah. I mean, I picked us to win. I think if there is a team that we can get right against, I like it to be Florida. They have not looked invincible. And then like Roger said in the past, when we've needed you know, when we may have needed a big series, the team has found a way in the past. And there's guys on this roster, Zane Adams being one of them, who threw a big game as a freshman and beat that Arkansas team on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities to take 2 out of 3. We'll need
Yeah.
to see definitely the best hitting that we've seen all season consistently this weekend for sure for that to happen. But Tyler's shown he's got really good outings. Same
Mm-hmm.
with Zane. I don't want to put Miles telling him he's got to win a Sunday game. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah.
but I mean, we've got a staff of pitchers that definitely puts us in a position to win. And if the bats come and
Mm-hmm.
they turn the corner, I like our chances to win. And I know Megan will be on record as she's saying we'll figure it out. We'll get the sweep. So
She's on record as picking Florida this weekend, but has made it clear to us that she fully expects we're going to sweep and being the queen of all gumps. When you look around the conference over the weekend for the week, Texas at Auburn, probably the highest profile match, top 5 matchup. Texas 1 or 2. Auburn probably ought to be 1 or 2 at this point. I think 3 of the 5 here are picking the horns. I went Barnes, so did Drew. Alabama, Florida. Roger, Griffin, and I have the tide. Drew and Megan take the Gators. You got Arkansas, South Carolina. Damn near everyone picked a sweep there. I guess 3 out of 5 for the Hogs. That's at Carolina. OU at LSU. 3 of the 5 take OU. How's that game panning out tonight? LSU still up?
5-0,
I'm
5-0 LSU.
All right. So some scrambling to do for everybody. Vandy at State. That's a pretty interesting game. Vandy took 2 out of 3 from LSU at home last weekend. State lost 2 out of 3 at Arkansas. This is kind of one of, to me, felt like a toss up. I took State. 4 of us did. Everybody picked Tennessee to sweep Mizzou. Tech, I'm sorry, A&M and Georgia. 3 of the 5 take A&M. That's at home for A&M. Georgia with a resounding, with a walk-off robbery to win the game on Sunday against Tennessee, and what ended up being a really great series. And then finally the UK at Ole Miss. 3 of us, all suffering from a post-traumatic stress disorder from the weekend, have picked Kentucky to go in Ole Miss. Griffin, in fact, picks Kentucky to sweep Ole Miss. Where are you coming from on that, Griff?
yeah, we took our lumps. I'd like for Kentucky to pay it forward. Maybe just put somebody else in our shoes for a minute.
Make it make it look better for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A few things to touch on. Again, we talked about this in the green room, as we say before the game, before the recording. Everybody, give me a quick thing. What is the one thing about this team right now that is fixable and can impact things immediately?
Defense.
Okay. No, I'll take that, Griff.
Play clean defense.
Yeah.
I would say plate approach. Just we need to get on the front foot, start taking pitches,
Mhm.
being proactive rather than just sitting back. So
Yeah, Drew.
Yeah, to both of those counts, I agree what Griff says. I think that's a little harder to do because it's hard to hit baseballs. But I
Yeah.
fully agree with that. We got to be better there. Defense, I think it's easier to fix because of the depth we have. We say we
Mhm.
have. I
Yeah.
almost kind of think we just need to figure out the best defensive alignment we can put out there, and then see
Mhm.
how it can hit, and then
Right.
make your changes. It doesn't have to be the best defensive alignment with the batting order of left, right, left, right, left, right, left. It just needs to be the best defensive alignment.
Right.
And then just go from there. And then, hopefully, like Griff
Mhm.
said, be more aggressive early in counts and then hit some fastball. I think we hit Peterson fairly well last year on a Friday.
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
great, but I
Mhm.
feel
Yeah.
like that was a winnable game until Staten booted that error in the 7th inning or whatever inning it was. So, I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. We just got to hit that second pitcher. Like, we didn't really do that against Kentucky. Knock Cleaver out of the first inning. It was mostly with walks, but we put the pressure on them
Mhm.
and played some small ball and did some good
Yeah.
things.
They
Really didn't.
started Kleber tonight, by the way, instead
Oh,
of
wow.
Did they really? Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
just really didn't touch their bullpen. Sunday, I don't know how that guy no hit us for 6 innings.
Mhm.
He got knocked out of
Mhm.
the second inning by the Citadel the week before. That was just a really
That's a
frustrating game.
bizarre game. Yeah, very. That's
and-
when you kind of had, to me, you kind of had the feel that, oh man, this is rough. This team is kind of mailed in, and they fought back at the end. I mean, but again,
Yeah.
you can't go 6 hits. You can't go 6 innings getting no hit on the road, and then decide, all right, the 9th inning, it's time to turn it on. Right? It's tough.
Mhm.
I'll say for that one, to me, the defense is just pervasive because it just, I don't think anything is more deflating if you're a pitcher, um, to just not have routine plays behind you being made. And while like we said on the night, 5 errors got charged to the team, there are plenty other. I mean, we probably had Kind scoring save us from another half dozen errors this year. But it's also just the double play that doesn't get turned because you lose the ball on the transfer, or you're
Yeah, it's
slow
not.
to get it over, or
No,
you
yeah, you don't get
or
an
you
error on those, or
yeah.
just pull the first baseman off the bag like we did
Yeah,
that.
it's all the you don't it's the routine stuff you just got that a really good defensive team's got to make. Maybe it's not going to be a really good defensive team, and maybe that's a good, but at least be a good one, or at least be a decent one. Just
Yeah.
you can't be a terrible defensive team and pair it with the way we're hitting
Yeah,
right
I
now. To
mean,
me,
5 out of 6 runs unearned.
Mhm. Yeah,
Tuesday.
right.
Just something real quick. Our 3 starting pitchers combined for 72 innings with 22 walks and 94 strikeouts.
Yeah,
So that should
They're
win.
like-
That should help you win some games.
Yeah,
That
we got to
should,
support him better on
Yeah.
both sides.
Um,
We got to hit better, and we got to play better defensively.
All right, so that's fixable. What's not, Roger? Of all this, what you're seeing around this team right now, what's just not fixable? What have you just got to live with for another 27 SEC games? That
I mean, I hate to say the offense. I mean, I don't know, like fixable or just guys start hitting like they're capable of hitting.
Right.
And there are some there that can hit. Some maybe they can't. We don't really
Mhm.
know. We
Don't
haven't
know.
seen it.
Haven't seen them.
I mean, but
Yeah,
we've
haven't seen them.
we've seen them. The ones we've seen just do more without
Right.
trying to do more. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
I
Right.
mean, you
Griff,
can't
what
go
about
out
you?
there and try to hit a
Mhm.
5-run home run, but
Yeah,
like
it's-
we just need line drives. We need
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
doubles down the line, doubles in the
Mhm.
gap. The home
yeah.
runs will come.
We need gaps. Yeah, we're not gapping anything. Yep.
Yeah.
Griff, what do you got? I mean, what do you think? What's not fixable about this team? What is, if the proverbial is what it is? What about this team?
I mean, I hate to be double-sided, but I mean, to Drew's point, it's I think it is the hit. I mean, it's the plate approach and the hitting. Yes, it's the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit that little white ball 500 feet. I mean, it. I'd like to think that maybe we can see a change and that spark will come, but I mean, if any indication of what we've already seen is it is what it is. I mean, to Roger's point, we don't need to get it all in one swing. We just need to start, you know, getting chunks of it and getting a couple runs every inning and not trying to do too much. But
Right.
I mean, to Roger's point, I think, and I know we'll talk about this probably next, but this doesn't feel like 2017 where all hope is lost and the season is completely shot. I mean, this is definitely, guys, I think to probably our standard and probably others, we expected more. So that's what's tough about this is
That's
that
what's frustrating.
the team doesn't look like, they're going out there as, 0-3 after the first weekend and they're, 15-7 or whatever we're sitting at. It's like we need to, so that's a tough part. So
Drew, what is not fixable and hopefully not the same thing they said.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Well, we're not just going to automatically find some 95-mile-an-hour fireballers out of our pen, except for like Heiberger. So the pitching is who it is. It is who we brought in. It is who's healthy. Offensively, we're not going to be a monster power team. I don't think. I still think we've got to mix the lineup up just almost every game. You keep guys. You want to keep them loose. You want to also keep them on their toes. I think a little bit. So maybe start different lineups against righties and lefties. Check out your splits and see who's doing what and who can. I know they said they've got something that tells you this guy can hit this pitcher better. I don't know if they said it with. I don't know if Rob said that with the two of you or on a different podcast about some analytics they have. So I don't know.
I think it was.
Obviously it had to have been because we're the best.
We're the best and longest running.
We're the best in the business here. So I don't know. It's like talent wise, it's not like we're running out 8 first-round draft picks in the lineup. So that's not there.
It's not.
It can't. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to say it can't be fixed. But if you're still seeing like these are my guys and we're gonna try to do it, then it won't get fixed more than likely. So hopefully they'll mix things up, mix and match, keep throwing guys out there who maybe different guys.
Let me ask this to everybody. I mean, do you risk in a situation like this where I'm going down my let's just use simple statistics, batting average. Plattner 167, Steele 195, Purdy 208, Vaughn 211, Osterhaus 255, Torres 267, playing every day, but Holt up to 299 and then up. But again, those have not been diluted by 15 SEC games yet. And then you go to last weekend and we hit 225 on the weekend. Do you run the risk of pressing guys too much in the hey, I'm constant, the old idea I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, how you can't alternate quarterbacks because the guy can't play tight with knowing that the backup's going to come in the minute he throws an interception. Do you see that in this team? Has that happened at all? Just with some of the way we're having to platoon guys a little bit, or do you risk that if you do more of that? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hypothetical, but
it couldn't be any worse. I mean, like some of those averages you said. I mean, if you're hitting 167, you should be looking over your shoulder a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
or you're thinking, well, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
I can't keep doing this and stay
right.
in.
And mind you, these guys, like we mentioned Peyton Steele, and it's been tough luck. I mean, just when he was hitting balls hard early in the year, just at guys. But defensively, it's a terrible defensive team, but he's been your bright spot defensively, probably.
He's won 2 games for us.
Yeah,
he won the Oregon State. He won the Sanford game for us. He has a lot of strikeouts. I looked at the Kentucky series and like 9 at bats, and he had some not very good at bats that double play on Friday. He also had some balls that were hit hard right at guys that just were tough luck. So that's kind of and when I look at that, I thought, well, maybe he didn't play much last year. If he started a game against Southern Miss, it's a home run. We never saw him again. So that's kind of a deal with that. But
which goes back to a little bit what we've talked about with young guys this year.
So what I said on Tuesday on my Twitter account about I think I quoted Theodore Fernandez, who's done a great job. Him and a lot of guys. There's not just Theo, like Davis, and follow a lot of the young guys in student media with great baseball updates. He quoted Rob Vaughn as saying something like, "Now's not the time to get tight." We've been playing tight. It looks like, in my opinion, you guys tell me different. I know I'm rambling. It looks like when we're at bat, we have like a sign that says take or swing. And we do have the pitchers. Jackson calls the pitches. I think I wish every single catcher called pitches in the college game because Auburn does it and they do great. Gusetti did that and we did great. But, it just looks like we're pressing. We're not sure of what we want to do with the plate. And they just need to let them just loosen up and just, if you think that first pitch is great, swing at it. If you pop it up, well, okay, whatever. So we'll hopefully see some better changes with approaches.
You got to, because here you go. Your next 7 series, number 18, Florida. They don't have Auburn's ranking.
They'll be number 1 when they come into Tuscaloosa because I predicted them to sweep Texas.
Yeah, they very well could be. Oklahoma, who I know is like 8, 9, 10, and depending on the poll, on the road at Norman, where we really hadn't been since they've been in the conference, right? Arkansas, who's always tough, but who we played pretty well in Tuscaloosa. I think at Texas, who's number 1, 2, 3, depending on where you rank it. At Tennessee, who I think is still a pretty damn good team. I saw a lot different looking hitting team than us. Let's put it that way, based on what I saw with Georgia last weekend. Vanderbilt at home still can be a dangerous team, I think. And then, if anything, our schedule's a little bit backloaded to our favor in that you get to go to South Carolina, although you got to go there. And then you get Ole Miss and Tuscaloosa. It's, can you get enough juice out of these next 7 series to get that? I don't want to call it a breather at the back end. Ole Miss might have 15 wins by the time we see them. Can you get enough out of this team to hold on, to potentially get in that position where, hey, we can get 5 out of 6 these last 2 series and do something? Is there enough there, Roger, in these next 7?
It'll be tough. I had somebody ask me, do you see Alabama being any better than 2 and 7 in these next 2 series? So I sure hope so.
Yeah. And it's not just the next 2. Like I said,
I know.
Where's your breather? You don't get one.
These are home too. These both are home. So we got to make hay. We need 4 out of 6 somehow.
Yeah. Griff, is there enough juice to get on a run here, or are we about to just kind of see after the next weekend or 2? Yeah, this is kind of where this team is, and it's time to start building for next year.
I think there is enough juice. To Roger's point, the next 2 weeks are going to be huge. Having them at home, we have to capitalize on all the chances that we get. If things get sideways, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I'd like to think that we could still find a way to put it together to where we're not just feels like we're going out there every week and deflated by the first pitch. And if that's the case, then yeah, we will absolutely probably pack it in. But I'd like to think that we'll still give ourselves a shot to get to the regional. But it's got to come. It's got to come soon. Definitely starts tomorrow.
Yeah, you need to get out of the gate quick tomorrow night. Drew, your thoughts?
I'm a little more pessimistic about it. I think there's a path, but I'm really hoping that Tuesday was just absolute rock bottom because we go to South Alabama. How many times did we strike out? 13 strikeouts.
13 times. Yeah, 13.
5 errors. That might have been one of the worst games we've had since Coach Vaughn has been here. So hopefully, normally when you
it was golf-esque
lose like that, you kind of start thinking like you got to figure some stuff out, and you can't just keep running the same lineups out there and expecting different results. So whatever it is, even if it's just moving guys around the order, but if you put a freshman in there, you got to be aggressive with them too. I think back to when
you got to stick with them. You got to stick with them.
One game I think about, and I'll try to make it quick. We put in Chase Kroberger played against North Florida because Fowler missed the Friday game.
Yeah.
All right. So, he gets, I think, an RBI ground out. Second at bat, he's up with the bases loaded, and it's 3-1, and he takes a pitch right down the pipe. What I'm hoping is that he did not have a take sign there.
Yeah. See,
because
let the young guy see what he can do, right?
then he swung at a ball four outside.
Mhm.
So maybe I'm really hoping they didn't put a take sign in that particular
Well,
bat.
yeah, I wanted to go Mr. Tommy and have him bunt right there. I mean, kid can fly too. I mean, he may be,
Yeah,
you know, but besides getting the run in, he may beat it
Yeah.
out.
yeah, and he's probably a tremendous defensive center fielder too. So what does the
Infield.
defense look like with him in center and Fowler and right, and Peyton and
Mhm.
left? I don't know. I mean, or so we I think we have options. Still kind of throwing square pegs into round
Yeah.
holes.
Yeah.
I think there's a possibility. I'm gonna
Okay.
always leave open the possibility.
Yeah. Last thing, and we'll call it a night, and we'll get ready to go beat the Gators this weekend. Compare this team. Well, uh, compare where you think this team will compare to another Alabama team. That doesn't make any sense. Had too many drinks. Where you think this team ends up by the end of the year? What does it look more like, right? And we talked a little bit about this on the beforehand. What year is this team most similar to relative to say let's just say the last 10 years?
Oh man, I want to go 22 years. Like,
You
I
want to
have a
go all the way
pretty. I
back,
have.
right? Yeah. Well, I mean,
Here's
some
my
of those teams
comp.
are really damn good. I mean, hopefully.
Here's my comp.
All right.
In the real ones who will know the 2004 team.
Okay.
We finished 10-20 in the SEC. Had some great pitching, could not hit.
Mhm.
LeBlanc was a freshman that year, I believe.
4 or 5. Yes, he was.
Brandon Belcher was a weekend guy. Taylor
Brent,
Tankersley was a bullpen guy, a first round pick. Brent was in and out of the rotation. Brent
Mhm.
Carter pitched a lot. Seth Johnson was a big bullpen guy. We just couldn't score. I don't have stats in front of me. I know the record is right, but we lost.
Mhm.
We might have won one series, but I think
Wade
we
was Wade was National Freshman of the Year too.
yeah. So we had that, and we won. We would
2004.
usually go 1-2 about every series, and then we lost the Mississippi State series, swept at the end of the year on that, but
Yeah.
just couldn't get over the hump because we couldn't hit well enough to.
Mhm.
It lost a lot of close games too. So that's
Yeah.
kind of. I think we
That's
got
your
more
comp.
depth. We got more depth than Bohannon's first couple of teams. So and then Goss, man, that was just nothing should ever be comped to that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think
So
so.
the golf year, I think maybe went 4 or 5 in 24, 25. I think
Four,
Yeah.
we
four
went
with a
7.
tie. Yeah.
Yeah. We won 8 games, maybe in Bo's first year, 7 or 8, and the first 2, whatever it was. Roger, you've been watching this team you've been watching the program a long time. Who was this? What year does this team remind you of, or where you think they ultimately morph into?
I hope more 2024-ish.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that was a
because
13-17 team in the league. Made
right,
a regional,
right.
right? Regional.
But it could be more like 2018 or
18 or
19.
19.
I
Yeah.
mean, depending these next couple of weeks will tell us.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, more talent now,
Yeah.
I'd say. More injuries.
Yeah. Injuries has been a factor here. Let's
Right.
not let's
Yeah.
not
I
the
mean,
guys that would probably be in the
three,
lineup that aren't
three,
there.
three penciled in starters
Mm-hmm.
haven't
Swing
touched the
bat.
field.
Right.
If you go Bull or Mizell DH,
Mm-hmm.
Davenport and Christensen in the corners and the
Yeah. And your
outfield.
closers
And
gone.
then throw your closer on top of that,
Mhm.
which really messes things. I mean
Right.
that's a lot of dominoes there. It just
Uh-huh.
moves guys around a lot in the
Mm-hmm.
bullpen too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's we've been talking about the position guys being hurt, but that injury might be the
Could be.
biggest of them
Will
all.
turn out to be maybe.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Griff, any particular comp that you draw mind to
If we,
recent history?
yeah, based on the last week, if we continue to drop these 1-2 run games, it'll feel a lot like 22, where we had a lot of talent, and then I just was
Mm-hmm.
looking back at that schedule from 22, and we had 10 losses of 1 or 2 run games. Now,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that's obviously not the case today, moving
Mm-hmm.
forward. But I mean, that's the kind of the feeling I've got right now is that, man, if
Yeah.
the pitching's there, I think that is as Drew said, I think that's probably our bright spot. It is what it is, but I'm confident with the pitchers that we've got. But if the hitting doesn't find a stride to, get back to kind of taking some good at bats and passing the bat along, it could
Yeah,
be have a lot of
be like that.
painful losses. So
Yep.
that's where my head is
Right.
now. But I'm hoping we get more than 12 wins in the conference. So
2022 was exactly who I was going to say, and for the very reason it was a 12-18 team in the conference. You lost a lot of close games. I mean, all you probably had to do was flip one of those games, maybe two, and you probably get in a regional that year because the schedule was so tough. Got a lot of criticism over losing a lot of midweek games that year, or losing some inexplicable type midweek games. But it was one of those years where, with injuries, in a lot of these years, you've seen that where, you get an injury to a starting pitcher. Well, all of a sudden that means your midweek guy's up throwing on the weekend, right? Or the guys throwing innings in the midweek, and you're throwing a guy in the midweek that isn't ready, and it's going to cost you a few games. I don't think so much the midweeks were the problem there. It was just the conference games that you just couldn't pull out that 1 or 2 run game. And so 2022 was what I was thinking a little before. So let me think of years. A little before you kind of got into transfer mania, right? You had so many newer guys coming in every year. I think that makes it a little more difficult because your team's kind of refreshing every year, and you don't know. You kind of built that team, and I think Bohannon, they kind of built that team from young guys building up over time, and that was a year we probably underachieved, but it was just because it was so there's so many close games. So that's what I was going to say there. I think you're right on with that. Any final thoughts about the weekend, guys? I mean, everybody's on record with their prediction. Realistically, what's got to happen to make this? What's got to happen this weekend specifically to? Is there one of the three any more important than the others? I would assume Friday, right? Get out of the gate quick.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of crowd we're going to have with students out, but the weather should be really nice. Hopefully the locals.
It
but,
is. Yeah.
Florida, to me, if we had just won one last week, I would have probably picked us to win. Florida always, in the beginning of the seasons when you want to catch them, seems like they always have a series early in the year that you don't expect, and they get swept. I'm not going to say this is it. Obviously, you've seen my pick, but stranger things have happened. So I think I picked us to lose, but that's because I'm a competitive guy when it comes to doing these pick'ems. So then I have to pick a couple. I have to pick a couple of things like I did last week to balance that out in case we did actually win the series. It's there. I think the option. I mean, the possibility is there. I mean, they're not invincible. We just didn't play. We haven't played very well the last week, and we got to pick it up, and we'll see what happens.
Yep. Roger, most important game of the weekend, or any thoughts on
Friday to stop this 4-game losing streak? Yeah. And
I'd
just
like
and set the tone. Have 2 days. Obviously you want to win every game, but have two chances to win the series. And instead of
I'd like to not go into Sunday with a freshman starter on the mound, and we've lost 2 already, or something, or we're 1-1, and he's, I'd really love to have him be able to be kind of free and loose and not feel like it's so uptight. Like the other day, I mean, everything kind of grinded to a halt for him for Upchurch on Sunday after 3 pretty decent innings. You got to get to the 4th or so, and just it just kind of, I don't know what happened, and it was a weird game. Griff, your final thoughts?
Yeah, gotta get started tomorrow. Availability report from the league is out. The only 2 guys that we know aren't playing or out of commission are obviously Christensen and Mizell. So Davenport's been cleared. Maybe
he was not on it last week either.
No,
it's kind of weird.
And Humphrey's not on it. So
that doesn't really.
I wonder if Humphrey maybe he's not on it because he's completely shut down with the.
Maybe so. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Yep.
So is Coleman. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, there was a lot of guys off of there last. Humphrey wasn't on there last week.
Yeah.
They do this for betting purposes, and there's not a whole lot of betting going on in college baseball anymore, like there is basketball. I don't think these guys can quite move the line like
Yeah.
You know, but
Mark
certain
Jennings
basketball
is
players.
probably
do.
in Vegas doing his 4-game parlays on the weekend with March Madness. So
I
probably.
hope so.
That's right. Yeah.
Hitting
And
all of
speaking
them.
of which, hey, no matter, I mean, no matter how bad a week we had, right, looking back between Tuesday and last weekend and looking ahead to, it can't be any worse than Hubert Davis just had while we've been sitting here in North Carolina getting knocked off in the first round by VCU
Oh, they lost.
about 20
Wow.
minutes ago.
They
So,
blew a big
20-point
lead.
lead. And
count your blessings. I don't know if he will. I don't know if he'll have he's gonna be like that meme of the guy going in the Jets building and his key doesn't work tomorrow. I'm afraid. All right, guys. Hey, it was fun. Let's right the ship this weekend. Come on, guys. Let's do fans, get out there and support them. I mean, we do this. We're going to do this an hour and a half every week. If we had swept last weekend, we're going to talk about this team. If we get swept, we're going to talk about this team, and we're going to probably talk in a little different tone about them. But get out there and support them.
right field is open, so if you want to,
wide open. Hey,
go
bring
for
your
it.
six. Get out there and be a Rager for a weekend. Enjoy it. Get out and support them because it's SEC baseball. And there are ups and downs in it, and we're in a down right now. We got to get let's get them back up and try to carry them through the season. For Roger Myers, for Griffin Smith, for Drew Champlin, I'm Paul Graham. Thanks again for joining us on the Weekly Joke. We will see you next week. Roll Tide.
All time.
Roll Tide.
Yep.
Swing it, boys, swing for the fence. Shove it, boys, make 'em miss. Some big league chew in a baseball souvenir. Come on, sing with me now. The Joe is home, sweet home. It's roll, tide, roll. The Joe is home, that's right. Home, sweet home. Hey, look, is that Roll Tide Willie over there? Blitz, Bama, Blitz.